What's going on? Welcome to Truth Wizard. Welcome back to Truth Wizard. Either way, it is always good to have you. Good to see you. Good to be here. Hope you're having a good weekend. Today's video, we're going to look at some UFO sightings, old world architecture, and supposedly there's some evidence that the Earth very well could be flat. So if you're into this kind of content, you are going to want to stick around and do me a favor, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, please, and thank you so very much. And with that being said, we are going to go ahead and get right into it. That's incredible, man. We're going to take a quick pause so soon already. I know, I'm sorry, but look at this. And are we really supposed to believe that they built this with the old hammer and chisel explanation? There is so much detail in this. This is unreal. And so many of these buildings found everywhere, internationally. Built in a time when power tools didn't exist, modern crane systems. Now, if you saw a video I made as a few videos back, I highlighted some photos of the old world and mostly to do with the Zeppelins. And one of the photos showed a picture of a Zeppelin with, I would presume to be cables. It was basically hoisting up this giant, column, or it was a column or like a spire. It was a very large piece to this building. That would explain a lot. And if that is the explanation, then why is that explanation not talked about? Why do we not discuss, and why is it not really taught and just out in the open, and everybody knows that there were airships in the 1800s or well beyond before the 1800s? And that's how some of these cathedrals and massive buildings were built. That was their technology. I don't know. It just seems like the narrative for me has for many years been crumbling worse than a 10-day-old pound cake. That's all I'm trying to say. And this is really, really pretty.
Flood marks.
You want to see just how fake history is? Look at these two photos. This is the state capitol building here in Olympia, Washington. We're told it was built between 1922 and 1928, and yet here it is on a map of Olympia, Washington from 1920. And look, that westernmost building isn't here anymore. It's just a parking lot now. And this is an 1890s illustration of Olympia, Washington. And most of these buildings aren't here anymore, but a few of them are. For instance, that's the old state legislative building that used to have an 8-sided clock tower on it. That clock tower burnt down in a mysterious fire, as did, I presume,
of course
most
it did.
of the buildings that I'm looking at here. Because again, this isn't a fanciful illustration. I think it's a literal one. The founders came and found all of these buildings that were already here, drew them, mapped them, and if you look at this very interesting thing, you see where it says Smith, DC? Whole swaths of this early map are carved up and set aside for certain families. And the Smith family is one of the most prestigious families here in Olympia, Washington. Their name's on all of these old buildings. And this is just one tiny example. Here's a much bigger example. This is the Palace of Parliament in Bucharest, Romania, the heaviest building in the world. And they said it went up in the 80s, kind of in the dead of night. Yet here's an old map, and it's on this map way before the 80s. Here it is. Like, I'm pretty sure that's fucking it right there. So again, they're all liars. All these founders, all these Freemasons, all these lawyers who tell you what the history books are. They're lying. They're lying the same way they're lying about Epstein. They're lying about everything. They blow up all this infrastructure and just sit atop the ruins, squat in all the most magnificent things they don't blow up. And the rest of us live in shit box apartments. But they keep upping the rent. Like, when is this shit paid for? Again, they paid for nothing. They founded it. So they're losing control of all narratives, but I think the historical narrative is the most powerful one to wrestle back from their control. Let's put a real history together. Let's figure out who was here before us, who actually built all these amazing structures, and stop listening to the paper salesman. Anyone who has a paper accreditation, paper documents, paper history, it's all fucking fake and burnable. Stones don't lie, so listen to them.
And that's
So I want to bring this up real quick. In terms of the construction of these buildings, I saw a guy who had a theory, and I think he could be onto something, man. I unfortunately do not remember this guy's name, what his channel name was, and it was in I believe it was in it was a short video within, a longer compilation, sorts of like this. Anyway, he says he thinks that those columns that are basically in every single damn building, Capitol buildings, things like that, state, national, were molds. So they had like a cast mold that they would pour whatever contents into this mold, case it, everything dries and solidifies, and they take it out of this cast, and poof, they have a column. So essentially, they were casting and could mass produce those columns, and that's how they all look, and they all are very consistent and the same. And I thought it was a great idea. I'd never thought about that, never would have considered it, but that makes a lot of sense. So, but yeah, also what that guy said, yeah, they're 100% full of crap. They lie about so much stuff. At this point, if you can't see that, I don't know, man. We should get together and have, some cupcakes and some coffee and have a good long talk, and just let's figure out why you don't see that you've been lied to. Because they're lying to you. Oh, they're lying to you. Also, this is next video. I kind of cheated. I've already put this video in a episode, like, I don't know, it was, I think 2 or 3 episodes back, but I liked it so much that I'm going to put it back in this one, and I did. So let's just take a look.
why they keep you constantly distracted with external things. Because they don't want you to know that your body is the most advanced technology on the earth, and that your mind is in charge of 50 trillion cells that religiously obey every thought command that you project. You are literally in charge of a universe inside of you. But they want you to think rocket ships and iPhones are very advanced technology. But look at yourself. No one can replicate the human body.
Start understanding quantum physics, you realize that everything is energy and nothing is separate. And then when you realize that they can measure your brainwaves with a magnet that doesn't touch your head, you realize that your thoughts are not in your head. And they're part of this greater field that we are all connected by. And they're now trying to understand how we actually store memories, which is a developing process. Some of it is protein-based, and some of it is this theory that we basically store our thoughts in the cloud. So basically you're accessing your own Wi-Fi field. And this is why there is a difference of like meeting somebody in person versus doing something over Zoom. Our biofields are interacting right now. There are low level frequencies that our brains interact on. So having that biofield, you realize that like you have your own biofield. You are your own Wi-Fi. You emit your own Wi-Fi. And so then thoughts can be the process of some of that Wi-Fi coming in, mostly directed as life force and energy, which is why like how you practice your energy and how you maintain your energy can really direct how your thoughts come out in your reality, because it's that life force that then drives a chemical change in the brain that then drives forth whatever is going to come out as like a conscious thought or a verbal thought or anything like that. But when you realize that it's the energy that comes first, this is why stuff like meditation could lead to manifestation, because you have to correct that frequency signal and then it'll actually correct your physiology. And I literally went through my own personal experience of this, because at one point I talk to people a lot about allostatic load, and it's this concept of when your body becomes overwhelmed. I just had so many things going on in my life on like a physical level, a chemical level, and a mental level. My body got overwhelmed. My immune system was starting to act in autoimmune type ways. I basically became allergic to all food. This is how I know sensitivity to supplements really well, is being made sicker by being put on supplements and medications, and my body was just rejecting all of it. And so I finally got to this point where I was at a loss, and the only thing I had left to do was listen to my body. And my body was like, I want you to sit here and drink water and eat these 3 foods and meditate and do nothing else. So that's basically what I did.
I've said it before already in a previous video, and I'm going to say it in this one, and I'll probably say it in many, many, many more videos to come. I really believe that a reason we've been told the narratives that we have been told is to devalue ourselves as humans. And I think that comes with the territory of like the self-esteem kind of factor to a point, but I think it's more to where I really do believe that people, humans, all of us, are capable of doing way more than we would ever believe or think. And I think that a lot of the science fiction stories and Hollywood movies and all the, telepathy, telekinesis stuff, remote viewing, I think all that's real. I really 100% do. I think your brain can do some crazy, crazy things, but you have to be connected to this realm that we live in, which is why, here comes the segue, which is why I don't believe the earth is round. Round in the sense of that we've been told the globe, right? The globe flying through an ever-expanding universe, and they always tell you all these insane explanations. Everything is just so incredible and so insane. Your brain can't comprehend it, right? I've said that before. I'm going to say it a million times over. Why is everything just so great beyond our imagination that us peon idiot humans, we just can't even grasp it, can't even comprehend it? But yet this tiny little handful of scientists, they can get it. Oh, they got it. Don't worry. All their work is still theories. Their work is a theory. Even modern assumptions, modern teachings, things that we think are a fact, some of it is factual. A majority of it is not. They are theories, and they're basing their theories off of older theories, things that actually were not and have not still been proven to be a fact. So why is it that when someone like myself or other people like myself, whether in person or on the internet, have our own theories, we are taught or told and shamed by other people, and it's made to seem like you're just this insane lunatic? I'm sorry if your brain is unable to do any critical thinking or to be any type of creative. I really do feel bad for you. My brain, however, while I am not a genius, no, but I am also not a complete dummy. But I have a very creative brain. I can connect dots that need to be connected. I can connect dots that should not be connected, but I can visualize. I can imagine how and why these things could go hand in hand. I can see why they probably do go hand in hand. I can see why the masses miss a lot of these points, because they also don't want to visualize and don't want to acknowledge that you've been fed lies and nonsense for your entire life, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's why I think they devalue you. you have no power. That's all a fantasy. It's all just, oh no, there's no way this is real. Oh, you can't imagine this. You can't imagine that. And now you have religion brought into this, mass taught religion. How they've interpreted the large majority of the Bible, I think, is also BS. They are making you dependent on an entity for the answers. They are. You are having to pray and at the mercy of an entity for answers or for reassurance, instead of taking control and you saying, I'm doing this. Instead of doing that, and then you actually following through, you focusing, you putting your mind to it, you imagining, like truly visualizing yourself doing whatever thing, right? Insert whatever thing it might be. Instead of doing that, they have you praying. You're kind of halfway there. It's a typical mixed bag of truths, right? So you're praying to some entity, you are internalizing, or you are speaking these things out, but now you're waiting for this sign. This is where I feel like the gotcha comes into play. You're internalizing, you're externalizing, but now you wait. There's no action on your part. You wait for that sign. And for a lot of people, that sign never comes. So they do nothing. And they say, well, guess that's what God wanted. Was it? Is it? Or are you falling for the trap? Just my opinion, man. If I'm wrong, so be it. I'm wrong. What's the worst that happens? The worst that happens is I have my theories. I have my opinions. I have my skepticism for very good reason. And the worst that happens is I'm wrong. And according to man, according to the people that we know lie to us, they've interpreted this book. And within this book, of course, the clause says that if I'm wrong about that and I don't blindly accept those beliefs that I just mentioned, I'll just roast in hell for all eternity. I guess I better change my belief system and get on board. Do you see how that's a little brainwashy? How that's a little bit of a trap and gets people real quick to say, well, gosh, if I had to pick between, my own theories and being outspoken about them and really being convicted in my thoughts and theories and living as such and preaching those thoughts and theories, if I had to do that, or if I'm going to roast in hell, maybe I don't want to roast in hell for all eternity. Maybe I'll just blindly believe this because it scares the shit out of me. And that's where they use the emotional manipulation. Get you right in the feels, homie. And then you're like, oh, well, yeah, hell, man. Who wants to roast for eternity, right? Not me. Sign me up, man. Sunday mornings, here I come, baby. Woo! Lordy, I believe. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. Let's just think about this logically. Do you believe they've lied about Epstein files? Do you believe that this realm internationally is run by baby-eating satanic cultists? If you do believe that, is it so hard to believe that the earth is flat and that we actually live on a plane of sorts? I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't think it's that unbelievable personally, given all things in the last few years. We're going to move on.
But of course, the critics look at this and they say stuff like,
If the sun and moon were just circling over the flat earth and getting too far away to see, then we would see them shrink and fade out of view as they set. But we don't. Flat earthers will show you videos where the sun appears to grow or shrink, but this is an illusion due to thick clouds. You can always see that there are clouds near the horizon when they try to show this. Normally, this illusion does not happen.
Oh, so he said that flat earthers are always hiding it behind clouds or whatever. Well, there's plenty of footage out there you can find where there's no clouds involved. This is from a really good video online you guys need to check out called Flat Earth Proof Sunset Off Pucket. I'm not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce it. Puket. Really interesting, showing sunset. I believe this was actually somewhere off the equator. Again, you'd have to watch that video for yourself, but it clearly shows the sun changing in diameter as it goes away. So please take note not to ignore this evidence. Other videos you've seen where it looks like it's going in an arc like that and going off into the distance. Other videos where people have taken and used filters and whatnot and analyzed the sun moving and then done measurement of pixels across the screen, showing that it does in fact look like it gets a little bit smaller in some cases. In some cases it gets a lot smaller. In this case from 302 pixels to 290. And then of course there's this video right here, which apparently was shot in the desert where there's going to be a lot less moisture. And so whenever there's less moisture, you're going to obviously have less refraction and magnification.
You don't get to pick the anomalies that seem to agree with your views and ignore the common observations that don't, and still call yourself an honest investigator. That is intellectually dishonest.
So thinking about all this and thinking about what I had just shown you regarding atmospheric lensing, magnification, refraction, all that with regard to cities and objects at a distance on the land, I got to thinking, I wonder how this would work with the sun and moon. So this is what I came up with. I've got my magnifying sheet frame, and I created a little stand to paste the sun on it and keep it the same height over the flat surface of a table. So the sun is always going to be parallel with the surface. And check this out. All right, here's the first test of a sun moving over a flat surface. And with no atmospheric magnification, it does what we might expect it would. It gets smaller as it goes away from us. All right, now let's see what happens when we add in our atmospheric magnification. Again, water and refraction. Water causes magnification and refraction, right? So let's bring the sun back. Oh, check this out. Refraction bends the light downward. It made the sun set on a parallel surface as it was moving parallel, the same height, the whole way over a flat surface. The refraction caused the sun to set. Not only that, well, let's bring in the beginning of that little test, and we see that it maintained pretty much the same size, too. Pretty close. And of course, that's because as it's moving away, the magnification is still taking place. And so even though the sun's further away than it was in the beginning of the test, the magnification basically preserved the same size, and the refraction made it set. Of course, again, depending on how much moisture is in the air, we could see that the sun doesn't appear to change in size at all as it goes down. We could see sometimes perhaps that it looks like it's getting bigger when it goes down. You ever see like a really big sunset or moonrise, moonset, you know, where one of them looks really large on the horizon? Well, that could be because there's lots of moisture in the air causing that effect. Or when there's less moisture in the air, obviously you won't have as much magnification taking place, and so it looks smaller as it goes away. So it's all relative to the amount of moisture that's in the air. Now, I'm just going to put forward a crazy idea for you to think about. And that is, if Rob Skiba could figure this out, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I think it's quite possible that the creator of the cosmos could have figured out the same thing and engineered our beautiful sunsets, thanks to all of that water he placed in our atmosphere. Just something to think about.
So also real quick too, it's my understanding that in the Bible, it says there is a firmament over the earth, right? So I just kind of feel like the implications of that might support that we are not on the spinning globe, and that it is a flat plane of existence, but not, again, it's not the quarter sized or the ice or rocks hanging off the side. It's not the stuff that's been designed to make it look ridiculous. And also, more importantly though, too, if we are all so devoted to this Bible and religion and God as they've taught and brainwashed and told us to be, then how can you just overlook the firmament concept and pretend that doesn't exist, or just cherry pick it out of the Bible, as well as many, many other things? That's a video for another time, and it will be a video. How you just going to cherry pick that information out, overlook it to fit your confirmation bias? That's not thinking. It's not smart. It's just not.
Might just be the best flat earth proof you'll ever hear. We're told that our planet is spinning at a dizzying 1,000 miles per hour, while orbiting the sun at 66,600 miles per hour. On top of that, we're chasing the sun through space at nearly 500,000 miles per hour. It sounds like we're basically spiraling through the universe, never returning to the same point, right?
Of course. That's what they tell you. They tell you that, right? That's common knowledge. Also, still, can someone tell me, I'm asking for real, serious, how is it we can travel 500,000 miles per hour through the universe in one direction? And the same people telling us this have also told us there are tens of thousands, I think even more than that, but let's just even run with that, tens of thousands of other planets and stars like our sun out there. And the universe is always expanding, but there's also all these deadly asteroids just looming, waiting to possibly strike Earth at some point in the future, as it did years and years ago and wiped out the dinosaurs, allegedly. How is it we can travel 500,000 miles per hour in one direction and never have hit anything? And you never, ever see any different night sky like the stars. How? How is that possible? It doesn't make any sense. If you get in your car and you drive 70 miles per hour and you head west, are you going to see the same road signs, the same street lights, the same buildings after an hour of driving? No, you won't see that instantly. You'll drive right past a street light, and it's now behind you. And 5 miles down the road, on a very, very flat surface, that street light's going to be, that tall. It's going to be tiny. If you can even still see it. I guess depends on your eyes. I don't know. But my point is, as you're going to travel, it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it disappears. And that's going 70 in a car. You can, again, seriously, I'm asking for real. Am I missing something that now that same thing no longer applies? Now, like the Earth and our solar system is different somehow, to where now 500,000 miles per hour, one direction, we still have never come any closer to other planets. We've never come close to a near miss to other asteroids that we've encountered on our own, not ones that come into our solar system? Why is everything always coming to us? We are going 500,000 miles per hour, one direction, but everything is always coming into our solar system. What am I missing?
Here's where things get interesting. Have you heard about the Georgia Guidestones? One of the stones had this tiny hole drilled right through the center. If you looked through it, you could always, and I mean always, see Polaris, the North Star. No matter the time of year, day or night, that star stayed perfectly in place. Now think about that. If we're moving in all these different directions, how could Polaris stay fixed in that spot for 40 years? If the Earth is flying through space in all these crazy motions, the position of the stars should change constantly, right? So why did the North Star remain perfectly aligned with that?
It makes sense.
It's impossible unless our understanding of the Earth's movement is way off. And here's the kicker. One day someone destroyed the Guidestones. It's almost as if they didn't want us to keep asking questions. Now let's switch gears for a second and talk about something we all use, compasses. Ever noticed how a compass only points north? It's like it's obsessed with the North Pole. Everything else, east, west, south, is just a reference based on where north is. But here's something that will make you think. What happens when you head south? If you travel east or west, you'll eventually loop back to where you started, no problem. But south? Oh, that's a whole different ballgame. South is any direction moving away from the center. And if you keep heading south far enough, you'll eventually hit the ice wall. Yeah, the ice wall. The one they say surrounds us. And once you hit that, guess what? You're not looping back to your starting point. This is why they don't want people traveling too far south. It's almost like the compass is subtly telling you, turn around, go back to safety, and for good reason. Because if you keep going past that ice wall, there might just be more land, more secrets, things they don't want us to discover. So what if everything we've been taught about the Earth isn't quite as it seems? Maybe there's more to explore, more to understand. And maybe, just maybe, that's why they keep us so focused on going east and west. Keeps us on the loop, literally. Now, if this got your mind spinning as much as our so-called planet, make sure to check out more videos like this on the page. There's so much more to uncover.
Okay, this video was just released from, I assume, the ISS of Earth from space, clearly extremely curved. And there's a couple things that don't quite add up when you actually analyze this. Before we can do that, though, in its entirety, you have to hear the audio from this clip. And that's where things get a little bit weird. And by the way, I'm sure they're not using a fisheye lens. So listen carefully. Do you hear that? This is the official video they released. What's that noise, you might be wondering? Wait a minute. Is there sound in space? So I decided it'd be fun to ask ChatGPT about this, and it gave me a pretty interesting answer. So no, there's no sound in space unless you're in like a nebula or something, which I'm sure is real, right? Then I say, then why is there sound on a NASA video looking at the Earth from the ISS? And it says, oh, that's a classic confusion. The sound you hear from NASA videos from the International Space Station is not coming from space itself. It's coming from inside the ISS. And I say, no, the video is filmed outside of the ISS. And then it says, oh, that detail changes things a bit and explains why it seems confusing. If the camera is outside the ISS, any sound you hear cannot be coming through the vacuum of space. It's physically impossible. Sound needs a medium. So he says, here's what's actually happening. Audio is added in post-production. For public-facing videos, NASA often overlays sound, like crew voices, machinery hums, and ambient effects, so the video is more engaging. And then get this, does NASA use CGI? Yes, but not in the way conspiracy theories suggest.
Of course not.
It's for scientific visualization.
Of course it is.
Simulating black holes, galaxies, planetary atmospheres, and spacecraft trajectories.
Simulating.
Okay, but they do use CGI. That's all I got. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
So that simulation is based on, is it based on their interpretation of? So we are going back to having, excuse me, a regular ass person, their interpretation, not what it actually is.
Just gonna hold it here until. Oh, baby! Look at those lights. What the fuck? Where? No. No, if they were flares, they'd be popping off sequentially, not fucking. You not see that? You not see that? Dude, I just got a UFO on fucking video. Holy shit! No, dead ass, dude. Do you see him flashing up there?
I'm sure it was just his eyes playing tricks on him. It always is, right? That's always the other explanation. It's a mirage. Our eyes are playing tricks on us. Once again, we get to go back to the explanation that we just can't understand and process or fathom any of this. Oh my God. It's so crazy. Let's just take a moment also to keep in mind, whether it's the old world architecture, Tartaria, if it's flat earth, if it's ghosts, whatever, we also have been told for, 40, 50, 60 years, something like that, 50 or 60 years, closer to that range, that UFOs did not exist. And that, guess what? We were seeing things. You got told all kinds of explanations. Swamp gas, weather balloons, ice crystals, ball lightning, mirages, anything and everything. We got told that we were just having mass delusions. We were seeing things. It's never what it is. We can't even comprehend and imagine what we were seeing. Oh my God. But now all of a sudden, oh, by the way, yeah, they exist. So just a little tidbit for you, just to think about, Okay, that's obviously AI, but hypothetically, your girlfriend's asleep on the couch. She starts laughing in her sleep. You walk in because you think she's awake, but then you see she's asleep. And she's wrapped like a mummy. And she's elevating and flailing around. What do you do? What do you do? I say when she floats back up, you kick that bitch right through the window and get her the hell out of the house. That's what I would say. Or if she looks at you while she's laughing, maybe just get the hell out of the house and you run before she kicks your ass out of the house. And depending on the girlfriend, that might be a blessing. I don't know, man. Huh? Oh boy. I've seen this.
No way. No way.
Send me the video when you.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Dude, how heavy is that? So that's I'm gonna assume it's a washer dryer. Maybe two washers, maybe two dryers. Either way, it's got some weight to it. And I can't really tell that it was on. But also, like, if it's on, how would it just start spinning around? And I guess that would be the most logical thing, is it was on heavy vibration and it somehow spun itself around. Probably. I don't know, though. It's very strange. And the cart that was just moving in the hallway. Do you work in a hospital? Have you worked in a hospital? Have you seen something weird? If you have, you got to leave me a comment. You got to let me know. I totally think this stuff is real anyway, but I want to know more stories. So just let me know.
The best is when the other one comes over. It's like it didn't want to see the front of it, you know. That's why it's funded so that he didn't have to look at it no more. Whoever's in their room. Oh my God.
Jim.
It's weird, man.
Come and look at the second one. Here comes the second one. No, the second one's moving now.
No way.
Watch the second one. Then the second one falls off. And the lady comes in from Dude Diagnostics. She don't know what to say. She was like,
She was on FaceTime with somebody.
look, watch the second one. Any second.
It happens.
Look, here goes.
It
Look,
happens.
Look.
This does not happen.
look. The ghost. Look.
Look at it.
Who's spinning it?
It's spinning.
It's spinning the cycle. It's got to be spinning.
No
There's no
way.
way
Isn't
that
that
this spin.
bolted?
There's no. I don't care if it's bolted or not. They don't spin like that. Mine ain't bolted in my house. Mine don't come and walk around my.
That's true.
Look,
That's true.
Look.
how that one just came out. How'd it
No
come
way.
out like that?
I mean, that's
Pushed
pretty
out.
aggressive, yeah.
You can tell me whatever you want.
Me too. I can't wait to show everybody.
Look here, wait.
Where's Keith?
Show them the thing. Look here. Look at this. Look at it coming.
No way.
There's a ghost here.
No way.
I'm showing them the ghost in the back.
The ghost?
Oh, did you ever see what happened last night? Forgot about it. The
We'll
laundry room.
die.
So do you think it's possible that objects, items can move and be manipulated through frequency? So if frequency affects energy, and if there's a certain frequency happening in a room resonating, that's how maybe cabinet doors are opening, cups move, or things violently get slung or fly off shelves or whatever, you know? Does that make sense? So we might not hear it because we can't hear it. We can't hear that certain frequency, but at some point it's able to move objects, maybe. I don't know. Possibly. That's weird.
Die. The laundry, all the laundry things are there. They just start
And in a
moving.
hospital,
They just start coming out and moving and going in circles.
a lot of different energies,
Come and look.
so different
It's
frequencies,
crazy. I never saw anything like it in my whole life.
a lot of emotions being put out.
No, I heard something there.
I don't know.
Is there a ghost in here?
Alexa, I'm not doing that.
If there's a ghost in here, open the door. Oh, you're gonna do it now?
It's going to open.
Stop. I don't know.
What are you gonna say?
I'm leaving.
Alright, you can have your room back. It's okay. It's okay, you can have your room back, okay?
You cannot attach yourself to us in any way.
You're
You
not
stay.
getting attached to us. It just opened a little bit more.
Okay, so they agree.
So let me ask this.
We're staring.
Did she talk to a ghost? Did a entity or some ghost hear her and open the drawer? Or going back to what I said earlier, is that the power people actually have? She was so convinced there's a ghost, but like her intent was on the drawer. And that, did she, the girl talking in this video, the narrator, open that drawer with her intentions? Does that make sense?
Don't claim you. No
You have
claim.
to stay here.
You can stay here in your little nice room, okay?
We respect you both.
Alright. Okay. Have fun. Don't attach.
I don't know what you're supposed to
My
say.
ass would have stayed in that room, man.
And we're not letting you.
So many questions.
They were protected by
I damn sure wouldn't have left.
You're protected by God. We're God's children. Let's go, please. Alexa, I'm.
Okay. Come on, let's get her.
Would not have left. Sorry.
Dinosaurs! Dinosaurs!
No.
Dinosaurs! Dinosaurs!
That's funny. Dinosaurs. That's good. All right. We're going to end off on that note. That dude's dogs were in fact dinosaurs. I love that. We'll have to feature some more people on anesthesia and things saying wacky things. That was good. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you made it this far to the end. If you did, thanks for sticking through. Some of my talking, I had a little bit of long talking points, but I wanted to be sure that I hope I was thorough in some of my thought processes. And like I said, genuinely, if I said some things and I'm really missing something, like truly an obvious something, comment, tell me. But if you're going to just parrot something you've heard or you've read in a book that was produced and written, mass produced to us by them with the official narrative, we got to do better. Let's just critically think. Let's have some fun. Be open-minded. I'm getting out of here. Have a good weekend. Please like, please subscribe. Come back again. Thanks for joining me again. I will see you in the next one.